Oh, hi, welcome back to the shop. It's good to see you again. If you've been wondering why I haven't been making many videos for the last few months, this is why. It's all going on out there. So let me take the camera out and I'll show you what I've been up to. Right, so here we go. The first thing was to clear the site of all of the broken up paving slabs and gravel that I used under the last shed. So this was tedious but had to be done, and I sorted them out into the two piles because I wanted to reuse the gravel separately. To go through code or building regulations as we call them here in the UK, you have to know how big your soakaway has to be, and in order to work that out you need to know just how quickly the soil drains away. So yeah, I've dug as recommended, a 1.1 metre deep hole, 1.2 metre deep hole, 100 mil wide. You then fill it with water and time how long it takes to drain out. It should do it in a few hours, but as you can see here, it did it in less than 20 minutes or so. It's very, very sandy, free draining soil. So this is my magnificently overgrown hedge that needs to come out completely because I'm going to use the space right up to the boundary, the proper fence that's behind this. And what I didn't realise is that I had all of these paving slabs underneath. So I thought I'm going to reuse those. So I carefully took them out, stacked them up, and they're big buggers to say the least. They're 2 feet square or 610 mil and 60 mil thick, which is just over what 2 3/8 thick. They are unbelievably heavy. Here's a shot of the hedge as was. I decided not to mess around and go straight in with the chainsaw and just butcher it. I have to say I was concerned about destroying a few nests in this, but in all honesty I didn't find a single nest in the whole process, so I was really quite chuffed. I mean, there aren't enough birds in this part of the world, so it would be a shame to actually cause them more grief than they need. I am saving the logs, so they'll go in the log burner over the winter. You can get a sense of scale here from just how overgrown this hedge was. It was, I hadn't touched it in years, besides trying to just keep some sort of control over it. I mean, look at the size of this. It's enormous. Elder. And this was the largest piece that I had to take down. That's about a foot or 300 mil in diameter, and I was quite keen to not smash my greenhouse with it, and I damn near did. There you go. Job's a good one. This is what happens if you don't pay attention when you're cutting these branches up. The chainsaw got pinched, and then the tree rolled over a bit more and squashed it completely. I honestly thought that I'd bent the blade, but would you believe, as soon as I could get this old trolley jack under it and get it out, it was actually in perfect condition. No one was more stunned about that than me. So having learnt the lesson, I decided to go a bit more cautiously at it, and as you can see, it's still quite capable of rolling around a bit as you hack lumps off it, so I'm rather cautious. I think this chainsaw is the most dangerous piece of equipment I actually own, closely followed by the table saw. The table saw has put me in the hospital before now, so this chainsaw, an accident with this would end really badly if I got it wrong. So moving on, everything that I could, that I wasn't going to save and burn, has gone through this chipper. I had two in the end. I hired a 2-inch one, and it turned out to be nowhere near big enough and man enough for the job. So the hire company were good enough to bring me out the upgraded version. This is a 3 or 3.5 inch chipper. Even so, it still clogs, as you can see, but that's probably my own fault for trying to stuff too much in it at once. But what a bit of kit, honestly. An absolute pain to get it going, but by God, can it chew through this shrub. Incredible. I just popped this shot in to show you my war wounds. Next time I think I'll wear something with sleeves. So here we go with a mini digger. What fun is a mini digger? Love horror in a mini digger. Anyway, the peg you can see in the foreground and the bottom of my shot is ground zero, or my reference peg if you like. That is in exactly the right place for the corner of the building once it's completed. And yeah, here's a reverse shot of that, and you can see that tree I took down in a few shots ago had quite a big root, which did take a fair bit of getting out, but I did, in the end I won. Well, with a 3-ton digger compared with a little bit of root like that, I think the digger's going to win, don't you? So this is how I got my levels. I used a really cheap laser level that I've had for years, and I fired it, leveled it all up, and then fired it to a cardboard box. There you go, you can see the little laser pointer. I've enhanced it for you. And I did that for each of the 4 corners, and then I moved the laser level to the next corner, next position, and did the same thing. So I ended up with 4 lots of marks, and then I averaged those out, and that's the average of those is what I called my 0 level. And in fact, I was out in 8 meters from top to bottom of this this new workshop. The pad is out by less than 10 millimeters, so I thought that actually worked really quite well. I was quite pleased with that. And also the ground slopes by about 1 meter, and so this corner you can see at the bottom left hand side here is the bottom, and so I've taken out the earth to match that level. So consequently I had a lot of earth to shift, and also it appears I can't drive a digger in a straight line, so I had to redo quite a lot of these by hand just to get them straight. How sad is that? I'm going to end up with a split level garden, and this is the high level as it were, and what I'm doing is redistributing the earth a little bit just to try and start to flatten off the area, and of course everything stops with tea. So here we are at the soak away, and as you can see it's starting to get reasonably deep. I think we're about 3 feet down there at the moment, and would you believe the building inspector said I got it in the wrong place, so here I am filling it in, and in the next shot I start digging it where it should be. I'd got it too close to the pad. I decided it had to go perpendicular to the cable run to the garage. So here I am putting it in, and as you'll see in the next shot, I'm not very good at digging with these machines, so I ended up having to redo loads of these by hand in order to just get them in the right place. Tons and tons of earth, a real pain in the butt. It was a cracking day, so I thought I'd do a cloud montage. Look at that, it's absolutely lovely. Who doesn't love a cloud? Right, having done that, moving on. Here we are in the lowest part of the garden, the far bottom corner, and I've started to put in my drainage system. This is going to go from there all the way across the back of the building through an inspection chamber, and there you go. There it is, all dribbly dribbly, nice. That's where the other rain gutter will go into, down there. Yep, all flowing there nicely. And then along the side of the building, outside of the foundations, all the way to that joint there. And that's where I'm going to add a linear drain. And this is where I currently have got the drain to, with the right falls on them, because it has to have a certain fall per meter, or the water won't run out of it. So in this shot you can see I've added the extra piece on, and now we're to where the soakaway is going to go, and as you can see here it ended up having to be seriously deep. It's just shy of 2 meters, that's about 6 feet or so, and sadly at the very bottom of that I'm getting into clay, so it was literally a case of having to hammer it out with a chisel in order to get down to the right depth so that I've got the right fall on the drains. These are plastic soakaway kits, and they're ever so easy to put together, and when you look at these you think, oh, they're not going to be strong enough, but apparently you can drive a car over them, so I'm somewhat amazed at just how good these things are. According to my design calculations, I needed 3/4 of a cubic metre of soakaway for the 45 square metres of roof that this new workshop's going to have, which is quite a considerable chunk, as you can see here. I had to chop a bit out of the foundations for the workshop in order to get this ducting in, and as you can see here, apologies for this shot, it's really wobbly, but there are 2 pipes, 2 ducts. One's 4 inches, 100mm, and the other one is 50mm or 2 inches. And there we go, that's where the soakaway is going to go. That's full of test water. You can see that's the soakaway crates, and they have to get covered in this geotextile to stop them filling up with soil. And if we walk carefully around here without falling into the deep hole, you can see the earth there is getting very clay-like, and stopping the soakaway from soaking away very efficiently at that depth, but it's better shallower. Right, here's the that's where the linear drain is going to be attached to the front of the workshop, where the doors are going to be, and the 4-inch ducts come out there. It comes out and then goes back in, and that goes down to the end of the other end of the workshop, and then does a sharp left and goes up to where currently my deck is for the summer house. Here is where the 2-inch ducts appear. There's 3 of them. That's one goes to the workshop, the current workshop, the garage. One goes to the deck, and the other one goes out to what will be the earth connection. There's the inspection chamber for the drain, and right over the other side here, that is where the other rainwater drain goes. So it's quite a complicated system. Took some thinking about it, and in fact I added another bit in the end, and the blue pipe is significant. So now the electrical duct is partly buried, and I've put an electrical hazard tape over the top of it because I have to, really. And I've added here, you can see there's another inspection chamber put in. That's going to be for electrical stuff, and I'll explain that further when we get further along. But there you go, there it is. Right, it's time to put the soakaway together, and the first thing is to put this geotextile in the hole. It's a water permeable membrane, but it stops the earth from going through the holes in these plastic crates and filling them up. So as you can see, I had to wrestle them in. The actual hole that these are sitting in is only just big enough for these crates because I had to dig it by hand. The digger only went down to just over 1 metre, and this is nearly 2 metres deep. So here we are, it's all installed and backfilled, and there's a couple of things here that you might find interesting. Firstly, there's a load of rubble on top of them. I thought I'd just increase the size of the soakaway by adding some rubble, and that white tube you saw there goes right the way down inside the soakaway so that I could measure its performance. And in this shot you can see I replaced it for a piece of drain pipe. Yeah, I'm thinking of installing either a camera or some sort of monitoring system in the soakaway, so hence the 4-inch diameter pipe you saw in that last shot. These are just some covers. The electrical inspection chamber's got 2 small ducts coming out of it. One goes to the soakaway and the other one goes to where I'm going to put a lamp at some point in the future. So this is the very corner of the building, and that electrical inspection chamber is going to appear in the patio that I'm going to lay at the front of the building. So there you go. The formwork is started to be put in, and I've started to backfill the pipes and ducts. It's all looking good at this point. The blue pipes you can see, what I'm going to do is my deck, which is at the top of shot there behind the bamboo, is going to be replaced. And when I do that, I'm going to put a water storage tank underneath. So the blue pipes are there to divert water from the gutters for this new workshop into that tank. So I wasn't entirely sure where the linear drain was going to appear. So I thought I'll leave a little gap there. Hence why I just put a barrier up. And everything has to be, according to code, has to be covered with pea shingle or gravel in order to protect the pipes and ducts. So here we are, backfilling it all, and got the reiki out. It took hours to get these ducts all buried and sorted. There we go. That's going off to the deck, and you can see the blue pipe that I'm going to divert the water down. And there's the back of the building that's all ready to be backfilled. And here we go with broken up paving slabs. These were under the original shed, and I thought I'd make a little mosaic, make them nice and flat and even, and then I cover the whole thing with a material called MOT Type 1. There we go, there it is. It's a building material that's hardcore basically, and it goes down absolutely solidly once you've hit it with a whacker plate. So my problem now was just how much concrete do I need to fill this foundation up, and there's no real right angles or absolutely flat bits to measure from, so I surveyed it all and took lots of measurements and then put it all into CAD. Right, so here we are over in CAD Fusion, and I'll show you what I did. I turned on these sketches, and as you can see, I took lots of measurements where the foundations were not flat. So along these sections where it's relatively flat, the lands, if you like, and the pieces down the side, the thickened pieces around the outside, you don't need quite so many measurements. So let me turn all that off and turn the body on. So in the end, I've effectively created, there you go, that is the size of the foundations. And we'll turn on a quick sectional analysis and edit that so we can have a little look. As you can see, there is an accurate representation of the foundations. So the net result of this is let's do that. I can work out exactly how much material I need. Here we go, I forgot where it was. If I select the bodies, all of them, right click, and then go to properties, over here it tells me what the actual volume is. There we go, 1.138 times 10 to the 3 millimeters cubed. So you can work that out. I can tell you it works out at about 8 cubic meters of material. So there we go. The CAD was extremely useful in making sure I didn't have to pay for more concrete than I needed, and made sure I also ordered enough for the job. So it's concrete day, and the only sensible way to get that quantity of concrete into the hole, rather than this 200 barrel loads I worked out, was to use a concrete pump. So I hired a pump, and a chap came and did a fantastic job. What happens is the cement mixer drops it in the end, and inside there, we'll see in a second hopefully, there's an agitator and a couple of hydraulic pumps, and they literally, there you go, there's the agitator, and in the bottom of that are 2 pumps, and it pumps it out as a slurry through the pipe all the way into the foundations. Absolutely brilliant. I've never done this before, or been involved in this before, and it was really interesting. These the 2 chaps who helped doing the groundwork there, they were absolutely exhausted, because once this stuff starts flowing, it's coming out, if you know what I mean. So there's not a lot of time. You've got to get it in the hole and get it flat as soon as. So yeah, all in all, that was a cracking day. One of the most stressful days I've had in a long time, to be honest. You know, you do worry, have you done the right thing? Is it going to work? Is the formwork going to be strong enough? It bowed a little bit in places, but nothing too horrendous. And there's no way I could have done this myself. I have the greatest of admiration for these chaps who do this every day. It is nothing but hard work. There we go. Just flattening it off. Didn't need to be perfect, because there's another screed layer going to go over the top of it when it's when the actual building is finished. We'll pour that inside the building. So several days later, you can see the concrete pad has changed to a sort of a white colour as it's dried out, or started to dry out. Although I think it'll take months for it to completely dry out. The eagle-eyed of you will have noticed there's no steel in the foundations, and that's because this concrete has fibre reinforcing in it. It's full of tiny little plastic fibres. This bit here is the section I left open was because I didn't know exactly where the linear drain was going to be, so I thought I'll leave that until I've done all the pour of the concrete, and then we can work it out from there. And then we're on to digging out the patio, which I got utterly wrong. I don't know what I was thinking, but I decided that it needed to be deeper than it should be. So I ended up making the foundations, or the bottom of the hole for the patio, 6 inches deeper than it needed to be. So I had to then refill it with rubble. Thankfully, my neighbours were getting rid of an old pond, so basically the wall surrounding their old pond is underneath my patio now. I had to do a bit of landscaping, and there's a lot more of that to do in the future, but yeah, you get the picture. You're trying to flatten it out into something that's sensible. There's the extra concrete from the concrete pump. I broke it all up, and I'm starting to shovel it into the hole. There you go. You can see that. With a bit of hardcore over the top of that, that's supposed to be just shy of the top of the slab. So you can see it's a lot deeper than it should be. What a buffoon. This was a last minute addition. I decided that this is the electrical inspection chamber, and I thought it would be useful to have an electrical connection point the other side of the path I'm going to put in. So I had this spare elephant tube, so I put it in, and it gives me options, because I don't have to run cables overhead or laying on the ground. I can actually just put them underneath through the ducts. That's useful. I guess my background in TV, you can never have enough cable ducts, and there's never enough access to pull cables exactly where you need them. So here we are, out with the formwork, and you can see by that piece of string, you can see a few of the little fibres poking out. That's the reinforcing. Round the patio, I had to put another set of formwork there you go. That's my concrete concrete poker I made in the last video. I was quite pleased with that. It worked quite well. Right, moving on. Here's the path, and I had to get the hardcore on the path in exactly the right position. It's got to have a fall so that the water runs away from the building, but it's got to be level in that direction. So yeah, you can see I put a whole load of pegs in that guided me, and more of this type 1 in. There we go, off with the formwork, and you can see, hopefully, I think there's a shot coming up, you can see, there we go, that concrete poker did a reasonable job of getting the bubbles out. I was quite pleased with that. Right, so flattening off, this is the a hard-in whacker plate, and they're heavy bits of kit, but honestly, you couldn't do it without. This Type 1, MOT Type 1, goes in so hard when it's been whacked. Right, I'm going to put brick weave down here, and this formwork is to make sure that I get the right depth of sand underneath it. There we go, there's the sand. I fill the whole thing up with sand, level it off so it's above the formwork, and then out with a wicky wacky plate again and flatten it all out. There we go. Push it into the hole as fast, as hard as possible so that it doesn't move. Right, back on the patio. These are these patio slabs that I've reused. They are unbelievably heavy. I've got loads more around the house that will be moving and disposing of or whatever in the future. I mean, you can see it's they were as much as I could lift. Right, you'll also notice that there's a hole. I've left a space, and that's because I didn't have enough of these slabs to do the whole patio. So I had to cut a couple of thinner slabs to fill those holes. There you go. Job done. These slabs are not laid in a traditional way, in that they are just literally laid on sand, but they have a concrete formwork all the way around, so the sand can't escape. So hopefully they should be okay. I did this down the side of my garage 15 years ago, and they're still as flat as they could be, as flat as they were when I put them in, and yeah, they've not moved, so I'm quite chuffed. I had to do a bit of butchery on this electrical inspection chamber to get it the right height, and in actual fact I had to redo that in the end. There we go, that's one of the thinner slabs that needed to be cut down. That's only 30mm thick, and sorry, 40mm thick, and these other slabs are 60mm thick, so I had to fill the hole up a little bit. I made a little jig to get the sand at the right level. That doesn't half make things easier, because once these are in the hole, it's difficult to get them out. There we go, my lad gave me a hand. And job's a good one. Perfect. Right, time for some grouting. And this is the walkway down the side of the building, and I'm going to put brick weave in, as you'll see, and as you can see from here, I'm levelling off and flattening off the sand, and this is where the formwork comes in useful, but you can't do it without, basically, but you do have to remove the bit and then fill it in. So there we go, there's all that to do. 600 bricks. I took a long time to actually get it square, because I wanted it to be as well made as I could do it, bearing in mind I'm not a civil engineer or a builder, not much of an engineer, to be perfectly honest. But there you go. I laid a string from one end to the other so that I could use that as a guide to make sure that I got the path as straight as possible, because there is a little bit of leeway. It's as you can see, there's a little bit of extra sand on the right hand side, so I could move it around if I needed to. It's quite time consuming this, but I have to say it's extremely satisfying. Just plonking these bricks down is quite something. And I'm putting gabions in, and this is 5 tons of stone. One of the loudest things I've heard in a long time. The house absolutely shook. There we go. I've put the gabions together because they're all interconnected, so they form one long wall. And there would be one at the end there is going to go at right angles. There you go, in place. It's all looking good. I'm going to put a little bed behind them, and I use some geotextile to weed control fabric actually to stop the earth from when I backfill it from getting into the bottom of or the back of the gabions. And there we go, putting in 5 tons of stone. Right, so this is where I am. Under there is the soakaway, 2 meters down, and there is a little electrical connector. That, along with another electrical connector, down there, comes out of the patio in there. And also that pipe there goes to that inspection cover. The patio, as you can see, is done. That's looking good. I've yet to put in the linear drain along here, but that's well, a day's work, to be honest. The gabions are in and all filled. Need to be backfilled a little bit more. I haven't done all of that. And the brick weave path is in. So I'm really chuffed. Going down to this end, we have inspection chamber for rainwater. That's a rainwater drain. Over there is the other rainwater drain for the other side of the building. These are electrical ducts. One goes for an earth, the other one goes all the way to the old workshop, which is where the power is going to come in and out. And the last one goes underground and pops out there along with a 4-inch duct, and that is going to be, behind this bamboo is my deck, which needs to be replaced, and I'm going to put a water trap or a water tank underneath there. The blue pipes you can see are exit there as well, and these blue pipes are going to redirect water from the gutters to the tank. So effectively the water from this building should fall down those pipes. If the tank is full, then it should go down the drain, or if it overfills, it'll go down the drain to the soakaway. Also, if the tank under the deck here is full, then way down in the bottom there is another drain, which would be the overflow. That comes back to here and then goes back down, all the way down to the soakaway. Well, if you made it this far, well done. Thanks for watching. Please hit the bell and subscribe button. It's muchly appreciated. So that, what you've just seen, is 5 months worth of work compressed into half an hour. I've had to miss loads and loads of material out because it's tedious, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a civil engineer, as you probably worked out. I'm not much of a normal engineer, but there you go. I'm now more or less ready. You can see that out there. I'm more or less ready to start on the building. There's a few small projects to small things needed to tidy up to finish it up. But I'll be ordering the wood and getting on with that fairly soon. So once again, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and for those of you who stick with us this far, well done. Cheers. See you next time.